If you're over 70 and your eyes have been burning for months, and your eye doctor told you it's just your age, stay with me for a minute. Because there are 3 medications that cause this, and almost nobody connects them to their prescription list. 2 of them are probably in your medicine cabinet right now. And the 3rd one can actually affect what happens if you ever need cataract surgery. And most of the time, the surgeon has no idea you're taking it. Debbie was 76 when she finally mentioned it to her eye doctor. 2 years of burning, dry eyes. He handed her a sample of artificial tears and told her it was her age. And Debbie accepted that, because she was 76, and she had learned to accept a lot of things as her age. She was buying artificial tears by the case. She kept them in every room of her house. It had just become part of what mornings felt like. What her eye doctor never asked, and most eye doctors don't, was what medications she was on. Not because he didn't care. It just never came up. And here's the thing. Researchers who study dry eye, the ones who set the global standard on this, have confirmed that in people over 70, most dry eye cases trace back to a medication. Not age. A medication. The people who never find out what it is just keep spending the next 5 years buying artificial tears by the case. Don't let that be you. The symptom they've been living with for years is not their age. It's something on their prescription list that nobody ever cross-checked against their eyes. Before we go further, I want to hear from you. Have you been dealing with burning or dry eyes and just accepted it as part of getting older? Tell me in the comments. You may be closer to an answer than you think. Here is what's happening inside your eye. The surface of your eye stays moist because of something called a tear film. Think of it like a thin, protective coat of moisture that refreshes itself every time you blink. That film has 3 layers. One is watery, one is oily, one is a thin, sticky layer that holds everything in place. When any one of those layers breaks down, the surface dries out. That's when the burning starts. After 70, that film is already more fragile than it was at 50. The glands that make the oily layer produce less. Blinking slows down slightly, especially when reading or watching a screen. So the baseline protection is thinner. Now add a medication that further reduces how much watery fluid those glands produce, and the film breaks apart faster than your eye can repair it. That is what causes the burning, not age alone. Age plus a medication the eye doctor didn't know you were taking. There's an international research group that sets the global standard for dry eye science. Their most recent report found that in people over 70, more than 6 in 10 dry eye cases can be traced directly back to medications they're already taking. Not age. Medication. What that means for you. If you're over 70 and your eyes burn, the first question is not, what drops should I use? It's, what am I already taking? Statins are one of the most commonly prescribed drugs in people over 70, and in 2 large independent studies, one tracking more than 40,000 people, another tracking nearly 40,000. People taking statins were consistently more likely to develop dry eye. More than 80,000 people across 2 studies pointing in the same direction. What that means for you, if you take a statin for cholesterol and your eyes burn, that connection is worth naming out loud to your pharmacist. Before we get to the part most people never hear about, if you want health information that actually applies to your situation after 70, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Okay, let's keep going. Here's one most people don't see coming: Claritin, Zyrtec, the allergy medication in the medicine cabinet that nobody thinks of as eye-affecting. In a controlled clinical trial, a single dose of either one measurably reduced tear film breakup time within hours of taking it. 1 dose. The burning you feel the day after an antihistamine isn't coincidence. What that means for you, seasonal allergy medications are affecting your tear film every time you take them, and most people never make that connection. This is the one I really want you to pay attention to, especially if you've had cataract surgery or think you might need it someday. Flomax, tamsulosin, is a common medication for prostate or bladder issues, and between 57 and 100% of patients taking it show a specific complication during cataract surgery called intraoperative floppy iris syndrome. The iris, the colored part of your eye, doesn't hold its shape the way it needs to during the procedure. In most cases, the surgeon has no idea the patient is on it, not because they're careless, because nobody told them. This was first documented in 2005, and a 2020 review confirmed the same range. What that means for you. If you take Flomax and cataract surgery is anywhere in your future, your surgeon needs to know before they schedule the procedure, not during it. After 70, the body's thirst signal weakens. You can be significantly dehydrated and not feel thirsty at all. And when the body starts conserving water, one of the first places it pulls from is the tear film. The eye is a water-rich structure, and it pays an early price when the body is running low. What that means for you: if you're not drinking water on a schedule after 70, you may be running dry in ways your thirst is no longer reporting. Poor sleep and eye health are more connected than most people realize. When you sleep, your eye's internal pressure naturally drops. That overnight drop is the eye's built-in protection against glaucoma, which is damage to the nerve at the back of the eye. A 2024 study found that people who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours have a 30% higher chance of developing glaucoma. People with sleep apnea, where breathing stops and starts during sleep, had a 43% higher chance. What that means for you: the burning eyes and the poor sleep may not be two separate problems. They may be connected at the root. So here's the first question worth bringing to your pharmacist. Are any of the medications I'm currently taking known to affect tear production or eye moisture? Not your eye doctor, your pharmacist. They see the full list. Your eye doctor usually doesn't. That one question, asked to the right person, is where Debbie's answer finally came from. The statin connection matters not because the risk is enormous for any one person. It's modest. But because statins are everywhere in this age group. A small percentage applied to an enormous number of people means a very large number of people walking around with dry eyes that trace back to their cholesterol medication, with no one connecting the dots. If you take a statin, write it down and bring it to your next eye appointment. Ask directly, could this be contributing? Debbie had been taking Claritin for her seasonal allergies for 2 years. The same 2 years her eyes had been burning. She hadn't connected them because Claritin had never appeared on any list her doctors gave her about eye health. Nobody had thought to put it there. If you take any antihistamine regularly, ask your pharmacist whether a non-drying alternative exists for your specific allergy pattern. If you take Flomax, or any related alpha blocker, including alfuzosin or silodosin, and you're scheduled for cataract surgery, tell the surgeon before your first pre-op appointment. Not during the paperwork. Before. Surgeons who know in advance can prepare. Surgeons who find out mid-procedure cannot. Write the medication name on a piece of paper and hand it to the scheduler when you call. Dehydration is the least alarming of these causes and the easiest one to do something about tonight. No appointment needed. No prescription change. Just a tracking habit. Because after 70, your thirst signal is no longer a reliable guide to how much water your body actually needs. Set a timer if you have to. Aim for a glass every 2 hours during the day. If you have untreated sleep apnea or consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours, the dry eye may actually be the smaller concern. The overnight pressure protection your eye depends on is being interrupted every night. That conversation with your doctor isn't just about the burning. It's about what comes next if it goes unaddressed. Before I close, let me tell you what happened to Debbie. 8 weeks after Debbie's pharmacist reviewed her medication list, and her eye doctor asked, for the first time, what she was taking, the burning had reduced enough that she'd stopped keeping artificial tears on every surface in her house. Her vision on waking was clearer. Nothing about her age had changed. Only what she knew to ask. She still has some dryness. That's honest. But the constant burning she had accepted as permanent, the kind that had quietly shaped every morning for 2 years, turned out to have a source. And once it had a source, it had a conversation. And once it had a conversation, it had a direction. This is general health information, not advice for your specific situation. For your own case, speak with the physician who knows your full history. You are someone who now knows that aging is not the explanation your body deserves, and that the question worth bringing to your next appointment is not, what can I take for my eyes, but what am I already taking that my eyes are reacting to? If there is a woman in your life, a mother, a sister, a friend, who has been buying artificial tears by the case and blaming her age, share this with her before her next doctor's appointment. She may be one conversation with her pharmacist away from an answer she has been waiting 2 years for.